Hi there, my name is William, creator of muoniotv. A few summers ago I bumped into two lads from the UK who are on their bikes outside our local supermarket. This is their story. I hope you enjoy the video. Please like, share, subscribe, and of course leave us a comment. And why not join me again next week for another story about life above the Arctic Circle.
Experiencing what we don't actually know, and I think that's the whole thing about it. We only know so much about each country. You go first, then.
Right, I'm Toby. I'm 19, almost 20 years old. I was born in Oxford and I grew up in the UK, been there pretty much my whole life.
So my name's Max, I'm 19 years old and I was born in Yorkshire. Moved around a bit throughout childhood. I was in Cheshire, up in the lakes, and then moved over to the Middle East for a little bit also. Came back to the UK and living in Lincolnshire now. Yeah, so bit of a weird one I suppose. We haven't known each other for so long. We've known each other for about 7 to 8 months, I'd say.
Yeah.
My mum and Toby's sister worked together, and we met up in a gathering one time.
Got talking about adventures and travel, and a few pints later you've got a massive adventure planned. So we're hoping to get to Istanbul. That's our first main destination. Whether we get there by bike, train, car, whatever. But once we're there, we haven't got any particular destination. We're just going to roam. We thought we'd start high, and then give ourselves the option to go left, right. You know,
from there it's downhill. You don't have to pedal. So
we didn't choose to do this because we love cycling. It's just another a mode of travel. It's cheap to run. You've got everything you own with you. You know, it's a simple existence really. Your main concern just being basic survival.
Yeah, I mean, if we're doing hostels and things, obviously you get a nice warm place to stay and things, but it's suddenly become quite expensive, and the trip wouldn't be as long lasting as we'd hope it to be. Yeah, so the trip was just started last Tuesday, so obviously very early days of the trip at the moment. The initial plan of how long the trip's actually going to be was originally around 8 months to a year. Definitely.
Everything's good.
Cool.
No such thing as a bad experience, I don't think. It's a little. Yeah, so we're starting with Estonia, so we're going to go across from Helsinki to Tallinn, straight south, so Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and then we'll go around Ukraine to the left, so we'll go through Poland, go through Hungary, and then pretty much as straight south as you can go. So was it Romania, Bulgaria,
Bosnia, Greece, into Istanbul.
Back home, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, could be heading east. Could be heading into Italy. I think the beauty of it is you don't know your end destination, which is so good planning things. But at the same time, nothing will go to plan. Something may happen along the road where you can't get to your end destination. So suddenly you have a new destination. I feel like worst case scenario is going home.
We don't have a time limit. It's more of a money limit, if anything. Well, I've always sort of wanted to do something like this because obviously my dad, when he was sort of my age, he cycled down Africa and he had a big adventure, and I've always heard stories about it, and I was like, one day I'd love to do something like that. So I've always had this sort of ambition to travel and to get to nature and just get away from the place that I've grown up because I spent so long there.
We're very free men at the moment, and I think we're using that to a full advantage, and getting as much experience as we can through Europe and seeing what's out there really that's completely different to what life is like at home.
I've always done a bit of road cycling, which is good for fitness, and a lot of hiking. But apart from that, we didn't really allow ourselves enough time to go out and train with all our kit because a lot of our kit sort of came in at the last moment. We just stuffed it in and left. So we didn't. The first time we actually properly rode our bikes with all the kit on was cycling out of the airport in Tromsø. So it's obviously a bit of a shock to the system, you know, carrying all that weight and the wind hitting your bags and blowing you around.
We've got good levels of fitness. I think we've both done a bit of rugby whilst growing up and things. So we we had a bit of cardiovascular fitness, but from there it was, for me anyway, cycling was not something that I only did cycling to the shops. Got a few sweets when I was a kid, and that's probably it.
I did fall off my bike in the first week, which was you never plan on doing, but it's something that happens anyway. But I just got caught by a crosswind and came off into a gravel ditch. Nearly broke my leg, cracked a rib, which is it's not comfortable, but it's part of it. You might as well get it out of the way at the start of the trip before you're in somewhere that's less easy to deal with. Yeah, so our sort of aim at the moment is about 40 miles a day, so up to about 60k. Our mileage is pretty much based around our access to water. So if we only do 30 miles, it's because we want to stop next to a water source so we can cook. Pulling up in a spot where there's just no sound. When you're on the bike, you've got wind noise and you've got cars going past, and then you come off the road down a fishing track and there's just no sound. I think it's uncomparable to anything we've ever experienced. But just the pure simplicity of the wilderness can be overwhelming in some ways, but also just utterly calming.
Good luck,
I think
guys.
it's the peace
Safe
that we
journey.
both sort of craved almost. Coming from towns and cities, it's the hustle and bustle. Just you need to get away every so often just to connect with yourself, I think.
All you're thinking about is either trying to catch up with Toby or you're just getting lost in your own head. Could be quite a scary thing, especially if you're thinking about the wrong things. But for me, it's you either go for a bit of a dead space where for a couple of kilometres you're just literally thinking about nothing and just purely cycling. Other things you're thinking about memories of family and things, which is obviously going to keep on pushing you and your little motivators.
Well, I think it's very rare for people to come across a situation where they've got no responsibilities and they're free to do whatever they want. But if you've got other responsibilities, if you've got a job that you need and you've got families, you can sort of go away and have your own little sort of micro adventures. Like famous traveller Al Humphreys, he talks about having micro adventures, and it's his sort of his philosophy is you don't have to go far to enjoy the outdoors. You can if you just appreciate where you are, have your own small adventures, even if it's going out and bivy-bagging in your local woodland for a weekend, or you just got to do it.
I mean, if you've got the thought, and I think 5-10 years time, if you had the idea and it was sparked, but you didn't take it and ignite it, you're just going to regret it. I think if the moment comes up where you have the opportunity to do it, you've got to take it while you can and just go for it. I mean, you can take the repercussions of it later on. It's better to do it and not regret it, and then not do it and regret it a bit later on.